We're here today with Rich Lee from Home Pride Construction in California. How you going, my man?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Awesome, brother. So if you could let us know just a little bit about your company, where you're from, type of jobs and projects you mainly specialise in. And the main thing of this interview is to give as much specificity, what's working well in your business, so other people can see, great, that's working well, I could apply that to my business as well.
Yeah, so Rich Lee, Home Pride Construction. We're in the San Francisco Bay Area, California, United States.
Metallica.
And Journey and a few others, right?
Yeah.
So I do residential construction. We're doing design build. So our staff takes clients from having nothing. We develop the plans, the finished schedule, and then we build it out for them. We walk the permit process, kind of one-stop shop for everything.
Do you have in-house designers, or you work with your own set of plans?
I used to do it all myself, and then now I have one assistant. So I still do some, and then I have an assistant who does some. I'm even starting to outsource some as time permits, because that's one spot where it'll be a choking point. If it all comes to me, then we slow down too much. But we have a pretty steady flow of jobs. Even with the pandemic, we're getting a lot of calls. Primarily it's additions and remodels. People are adding anywhere, to just a kitchen or a master suite to full second stories up to 1,000 square feet. Additions. This year we have 3 new construction builds we're supposed to do.
And how big are those jobs?
Dollar-wise, they're probably
and square foot.
Probably $700,000 to $1 million, and square feet anywhere from 2,000 square feet to 3,000 square feet.
Awesome. Cool.
But our bread and butter is going to be the remodels and additions. Usually about a 3-month job.
Cool. And are you focused on a specific area? Like, how broad do you go?
Yeah, we try and stay. So we're in a suburb of San Francisco called Pacifica. It's a little beach town.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Probably like 5 or 6 miles in length. So
Yep.
We try not to go too far out of there. It's convenient because we have our storage area and our office and my house, and everything's in this one small thing. So if you forget a tool, you're not doing an hour drive to get something. It's 5-10 minutes max. So.
Gotcha. And
we're busy enough, so it's like, why spread out if you can stay?
100% right. And particularly if you can become known as the go-to guy, as the surgeon within your niche for those type of projects.
Yeah, so we really don't have a whole lot of advertising going on, and we're constantly getting referrals from past clients, and
awesome.
That it's been like, so my dad started the company in 1986, just one-man show, doing one job at a time. Mm-hmm. And about 10 years ago, probably, I took over, started scaling up. So now we do maybe 10 jobs at a time.
And how many guys would you have on site, and who do you have in your office team?
So right now I have 1 admin and 1 design assistant, and then 1 just executive assistant. So I have 3 in the office, and I have probably 16 to 20, depending on what's going on, employees. So I have a high overhead, which is the downside, but the upside is if something comes up, I don't have to wait at all. I could just say, hey, Joel, you're the plumber, go to this job right now. Okay. So it really lets me have a pretty tight schedule and slam a lot of jobs in.
So what was the catalyst for joining the professional builder? What were you wanting to gain? What systems were you looking to put in place? How were you looking to change things, and what prompted you to get in touch and join?
So it must have been a Facebook or something, mm-hmm. How I found you guys. I'm guessing an ad on Facebook. Yeah. And the main reason I wanted to join is because I have no systems. It's just chaos, even still. I still need systems, but it seems like I'm doing a little bit better, but it's still really, if I was to have something happen to me today, the company would probably collapse. So that's like my biggest setback is I'm still pretty integrated into the whole system like everything's spinning around me rather than me being up here and managing it. So that's my biggest flaw. And
it is an opportunity, Rich.
if I could get that system figured out, I would be doing a lot better. As far as like the business, it's good. The leads are coming in. I don't have too many bad clients. All my clients are like ready to pay, and we get paid for our proposals most of the time without even any questions. I just took over a job where a lady got scammed by an unlicensed contractor, and 18 months into a remodel, and it wasn't even finished sheetrock. So, and hundreds, $130,000 she got taken for. And then I was like, well, you're gonna have to pay me to give you a proposal to finish. Oh, I never heard of that. I'm like, yeah, but you just got scammed. I wanna be the opposite of the guy who scammed you. Like, I'm gonna give you a fixed price, and that's gonna be to completion.
Yeah.
If you want the same result, then do the same thing. But yeah, so, and I have some friends too. They're like, man, these people just don't want to pay for me to give them the estimates. Like, but that's because years and years of contractors just giving away shit, basically. It's like, we got to stop. If everyone agrees to charge, then it's normal. But until that, then we're kind of an uphill battle.
Yeah, you got to sell people on that. You got to position that. You're paying for the next step in the process. For our expertise, our advice, which could save you $50,000, $130,000 in this case.
Yeah. So it's nice to have those stories too. And I just got contacted by an attorney who wanted me to give a professional price for a lawsuit from a contractor who did bad work. And the irony of this situation was 3 years ago, these clients had me give them a price and they said my price was too high. And this was before I charged for estimates. I gave them a free estimate, like actually a free proposal.
Yep.
I probably spent like 30 hours of work giving it to them. And then they are like, well, your price is too high. And then now they have a house that's falling apart and they're in court and it was just crazy that the attorney somehow knew someone who knew me, and the big circle. I was like, oh, that price doesn't look too high now, right?
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, so a few stories like that. We've actually rescued quite a few homeowners who've been taken advantage, no license or out of town. So we live in a small town. So if I was to do something, everyone would know. That's why when we do good, they know. But
sounds like a checklist would be a great thing. Top 17 things you need to consider before taking on board a construction company or looking at remodeling your house. Number one, are they licensed?
Yeah, number one, are they licensed should be definitely on the list.
Yeah, 100%.
I would recommend that their geographical location to your job is not more than a short distance, because why are they doing a 2-hour commute to do your job? Is it because they're going to get your deposit and just disappear?
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to find me, I'm 3 blocks away. Yeah. I live in the neighborhood where I almost 90% of our work. So I'm not hiding anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like they're off to buy a new Ford Ranger tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not chasing deposits. We take deposits, but it's just because we want to make sure they're committed to the job.
Exactly.
So and not finance it for them either. If we want to finance, they're going to need to pay for that.
What's been the key or the number one thing that you've learned so far going through the program?
So I was working with Paul early on, and a lot of the stuff we worked on was trying to hire the right people. And I realized I'm not good at all at interviewing. I get impatient and just, okay, let's just give it a shot. I'll take them on, and then, oh, that person sucked. I got to shuffle them out. So I did learn that I'm not cut out for the hiring process, because I don't have the patience to do more than probably one interview.
For sure, yeah.
And so I started now, okay, I'm gonna put someone in that position who's basically doesn't have the attachment to the company that I have. They can just be like, no, this person's no good, or hey, this person seems like they would be a good fit.
Yeah.
So adding some people in there to do that, because I just don't, it's not in my skill set. I don't like it at all.
And what other systems have you implemented, or what's moved the needle the most? So either on-site, sales, numbers, marketing, admin.
I hired an assistant, just a straight assistant, which she's not working now because of the pandemic, but her housemates don't want her out in public, which is kind of weird. But
Did she work remotely at all via Zoom or anything and have access?
She's not good enough to have do that.
Okay.
But the kind of assistant I need is like going places, like letting me be in two places at once, for instance. Like if I have to go look at some tile, she could go look at some tile and take the pictures and that type of thing. But yeah, I have an admin person for the paperwork stuff, and she's working remote at her house. We have like a little mailbox system where we drop stuff off and pick stuff up. And the design assistant was a big hire. She really takes a lot of the pressure off. She will walk the clients through picking out finished materials, the paint colors, the tile, the flooring, recommend here's the source locations to look for it. So that saves me a lot of time.
Awesome. How much time has that saved you, do you think, per week between those two? And what has that allowed you to focus on now?
So that probably saves me at least 10 to 15 hours a week, minimum. It really helps having, so I almost don't do any of my data entry. Well, I do no data entry. I don't do any QuickBooks. I do a little bit of co-construct because I'm the only one who can like finally verify the hours for the time cards and that type of thing.
Sure.
Right now, I had to terminate my project manager.
How come?
Just too much drama.
Yeah.
I put up with a lot of grief because he was like a crutch for me, but when you look back in hindsight, the net result was not good.
And if you can get rid of those 5 or 10% of people in your life, whether they be clients, team members, subcontractors, whatever, that take up 80% of your headspace.
Yes,
that's a whole lot better.
Yeah, and it was always like worrying about their headspace. Okay, is he? Because I need him right now. He's in the middle of everything. Like he wanted to be. I felt that he was getting overloaded, and no, I want to be this, and it's like okay, because not everyone's geared to take 100 things at once.
100%. So is that?
So he cracked basically. So then I had to. He was like, "I'm taking the day off." I was like, "Why don't you take the week off?" And then he just hung up on me. So
you gave him a pink slip, a DCM, don't come Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I gave him a chance, and then he was gonna come back. My dad, he's gonna probably finish out the year working for us, and then retire. But he was like, "Oh, let's give him another chance." I'm like, "Well, you give him a chance. I'm done." And
that's the thing, as you raise you don't get in business what you deserve, you get what you tolerate. Yeah. And as you raise your standards for yourself and your team, it very quickly becomes apparent who should be on the bus and who's not.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm just with this slowdown. It was kind of nice because I could take a little bit of time and be like explaining to each person. I never once tell my guys to hurry up. I want you to, when you finish that job, you feel like it's as good as can be, and no one's going to come in and say, "Oh, that doesn't look great." Like, have some pride.
Yep.
Now's the time to
I see what you did.
Sharpen it all up.
Have some home pride. Nice.
Have some pride. That was not intentional, but yeah, have some home pride. But yeah, so that's the main thing. I really just trying to, because everyone starts getting in a rush, but I'm like, I'm not. Especially right now, like we're overloaded on jobs because I'm keeping the guys busy. Yep. Luckily, we were able to get some funds from our government they have a payroll protection program.
Subsidies, yeah.
It took a while to get, but we finally got some. So now, like for the next 8 weeks, my payroll is basically free. So this is where we've got to really be productive because it's actually not costing us anything.
So is that who you will hire once you come out the other side of a project?
Well, everyone's hired. Oh, you mean the position?
Yeah, as you head towards your business maturity date, and we get you up, get you less.
Yeah, to be honest, the next key hire would be a project manager, someone who could kind of facilitate at least. So I need to probably break it down into satellites, like 2 or 3. So if I do 10 jobs, each guy should have 2 or 3 maximum, probably, that they supervise.
Would you consider hiring some of our guys? Members hire construction managers, which is half project manager and half estimator.
I mean, that would be good. always have had trouble finding guys who can do that type of thing.
Or you can just have
still,
like a QS estimator who does that and have separate.
So yeah, I have never had an estimator. I've always done it myself. I know there's companies that'll do takeoffs.
Yep.
But that's not really estimating.
Yeah.
That's just basically the material side.
Yeah, the biggest thing is the labor hours, and then getting to within 5%, 10% of that of what you actually quoted on the fixed price.
Yeah, and me knowing my guys, so I can estimate probably as accurately as possible. If you don't know them, like, oh, how do you know what kind of slippage you're gonna have?
Yep, for sure.
So that's the hardest thing for me. If I had someone who could do estimates and if I had someone who could do construction management, that would definitely free me up.
Massively, right?
That would be the dream hire, yeah.
They exist. They're out there.
Yeah, I mean, I know they exist. And now is the time to pick that type of person up, I would imagine, because I don't think many people are working currently, and then after this, I don't know how many are going to survive.
Yeah, for sure. I think
like they hadn't been prepared. Like we were prepared, so we could go a month with no income because I was prepared that there was going to be a recession of some sort. I just was hoping to be a little farther away, so I'd have more chips to deal with to try and capitalize. But we were fine.
What it's going to do is it's going to consolidate the industry, and you'll see the guys who were competing on price to win jobs, didn't have any decent systems, marketing, etc., didn't have a strong business foundation. Those will be the first people to be affected, which will mean there'll be more labor available and more opportunities for the good, solid companies.
Plus any contractor living deposit to deposit, they're gone. Those guys 100%. Are toast.
100%.
Because it's been 8 weeks, no deposits, so they'd be out of here.
Yeah, exactly. So what have your numbers been, if you're happy to share? So if we look at revenue, margin, and also the amount of what sort of hours you're working at the moment.
So it's slowed down. Right now, our income for the year is at like 1.2 million.
And where do you think that'll end up?
We were on pace. I mean, we did almost all that in the first quarter. So that's we were on pace for a good year. We probably would have hit 3 million in sales. Yeah, the first quarter, I think we did like 900.
Sure.
And then
going to be close to 4, or would have been, depending on how we come out the other side.
Yeah, because I had 3 new construction projects. If those all went between summer and fall, we would have been sitting pretty good for a breakout year. Last year was a little off. Weather sucked. Had a lot of delays and mistakes and things like that with letting my old project manager kind of have free reign. But we did probably 2.3, I think, last year. And then the year before, that was the year we had a good year. We did, I think, like 2.7, and we made the Inc. 5000 list that year for the fastest growing. We were like 1,400 or something. So we did pretty good that year. But yeah, the goal is to try and I was working a lot of hours, and I still, even with the slowdown, I'm 50 hours probably a week.
50 hours, yeah. And what's your margin running at the moment?
I think we're at like 40%.
40?
Yeah, so
that's pretty high.
So we do a high markup.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is that higher for the remodels and the extensions than the new builds?
It might be, but our price would probably try and keep it the same. So we have our markup across the board, and for the most part we're going at 1.87. Yeah, so I mean we're pretty much 40% net profit.
40%.
Yeah. We did one. I mean that's not a true net. That's a QuickBooks net.
Yeah, sure.
Because there's other stuff that comes out, but we did like 1.2 and we got 400 in net income.
And how do you find that has impacted your conversion rate? Is your conversion rate pretty high because you still get a lot of work from word of mouth and referrals and happy clients? Yeah. And they're like, well, you did John and Mary's jobs, we want you.
we still have a pretty high conversion rate. I think as I start getting leads from, say, house.com and stuff like that, those are the ones that would say, oh, but that's too expensive. It's like, okay, then call someone else.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've got that good workflow, good deal flow, and you've booked out, 3 to 6 months in advance, then you're not desperate to take a job out on margin. And you can say, look, dude, we're not the right company for you.
Yeah, I'll just say, that job's too small, or you don't have the right amount of money. There's handyman service available. But yeah, we're still probably like 80%, which is even too high. If we really want to raise our price and make good profits, we need more no's.
Yeah, definitely right, because it means that you're still leaving some money on the table.
Yeah, exactly. If we're getting so many yeses, pretty much if they know us, we're getting a yes.
Awesome. That's brilliant.
So we're almost like closing 100% of people who have been a direct referral. And then 80% if you take the cold leads that come off of, like I said, house.com, or someone who just happened to overhear a conversation on nextdoor.com or something like that.
So
I don't know if they have that over there, but it's just like a neighborhood website.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So what's been your number one lesson over the last 12 months, or biggest insight or biggest learning?
I think the biggest thing is to try and get the support around me, which I'm still working on, and then also not rushing to hire someone because I've made that mistake and it ends up costing me. Because even when they're gone, I'm still haunted by, well, he said or she said this. It's like, well, they're gone. So, but being a local company that's based on reputation, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to eat that cost for that promise, and how many more promises are out down the road? Sure. So that's the biggest thing, like try and make sure we get the next person who we give some control of the company needs to be strong-minded, strong integrity, just good work ethic, all that stuff.
100%. And how have you changed as a leader, and also how's your mindset changed over the last 12 months?
I guess the mindset is at least I'm trying to not be having my hands in every piece, like I'm trying to delegate it out, but I'm still working. That's still definitely an uphill battle for me, because it's my integrity and ultimately my dollar on the line. So finding someone who even partially is that, I don't know what the word would be, on the hook, or that level of like being all in, like
invested fully. I think a big part of that is you can't always hire or find brilliant people. So it comes back to the systems that run the business, visibility of the numbers of what they should be doing each week, closing the feedback loop with a regular meeting with them, whether it's a construction meeting, toolbox meeting on site, etc., for each of the different levels. And then the numbers are going to tell us, and their KPIs, their actions. Have you actually done the right things this week? And then, because you don't get what you deserve, you get what you tolerate.
Yeah, so that's something I need to implement as well. Like, so the field guys, even I guess I don't know it as well as I should. Like, your labor hours should be X on this job. So then they know their target, right? So they're just going, and then I show up, I'm like, man, you guys have been here quite a while, and I'm still seeing things that need touch up, and we're just kind of eating up time. And then
that'll be a game changer for you.
And then it's like, well, you guys want more money, I'm sure, right? So we have to make more money for me to be able to give you more money.
100%.
So trying to get them to buy in, like, I'm strongly against handouts. So if they want more money, they have to be the guys, like, don't show up as the clock hits start time. Be there ready to go.
Yep.
And yeah, my guys, the guys who get raises, they aren't the ones who ask. I don't need some. If you're asking me for a raise, you're not ready for a raise. So
100%.
all the guys get those naturally as their value. But yeah, so I need to be able to give them more guidance. So there's still systems that I need, like setting that up where it's clear your key targets. And I think that would help a lot.
100%. Yep. That'll be a game changer for you.
Because right now, almost the whole company, it's reactionary, even down to me for the most part, which is not ideal.
I can see that it looks like you got a lot going on.
Yeah, it's there's a lot.
So what's ahead, Rich, for the next 12 months and beyond? Where do you want to take your business?
Nice steady growth. It would be nice if I could find probably a handful of people, 3-4 people. I think there's enough work barring any global collapse. And if there's a global collapse, I switch gears and start investing in my, buying houses or whatever, buying land.
And developments.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my goal anyway, to be my own customer. We did it before the last recession. We got decimated. We were overextended, and only in real estate. Building new construction, we had like 15 projects in this workflow, and everything hit the brakes. No more construction loans. Pricing went down. It was like the perfect storm that kind of killed everything. So then that was like 2 years of just working for ourselves, and then after 2 years we had nothing to show for it. So then that's when we started, okay, we're taking clients again, and then we've been ramping up since then.
And what would you say is last parting golden nugget or piece of advice to a construction company owner who's wants to go faster, or is stuck where they're at, or is repeating, the same results that they're getting?
Yeah, I think in this situation, it's worth it to take a step back and then make sure your path is good. Like, you have a clear target, you have a clear path to get there. Because if you're just going fast, you're gonna be stuck in chaos, and that's kind of what happened to me. Growth was easy. Like, if I wanted to, we could double our sales.
Yep.
But I don't think I could perform quality work. So you're gonna have to build that team, like having 3 office staff. I mean, that would be unheard of 5 years ago for us. Like, there was only 10 total people in the company, for instance, and then now I need at least that. And then I was noticing myself spending a lot of time going grocery shopping and getting dinner ready. So hired a chef, hire a house cleaner, because those are $25 to $35 an hour tasks.
Exactly. Yep.
So if I could make $100 an hour,
yep,
I shouldn't be looking at $25 an hour stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That whole knowing your PBR, your professional builder's rate, and then what you need to delegate that's below that. Look at that every 90 days. Gonna free up your headspace so much.
Yeah, so I was noticing, okay, an hour and a half before work's over, I'm going to the store, I'm getting groceries, because my wife was working at the time.
Sure.
And I was like, this is not good use of my time.
Yeah.
So it seems like a big expense, but it's really good if you want to free up some time and not have, because even that felt like work. It's like,
yeah.
And now it's even worse because you have to wait in line. But
it's a game changer.
Have your mask. But yeah, so that's kind of key. Just knowing your value and focusing on those key spots. And I'm still working on it. But yeah, that's the key. Like, dollar. Yeah. Make sure you're using your best dollar tasks.
Exactly. 80-20, what you do in life and what you do in business.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much today for your time, Rich. I massively appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, no problem. Pleasure.
Cheers, my man.
All right. Have a good day, Marty.